Okay, there we go. Trying to figure this all out. I am gone live on Instagram, and I'm live here. So I'm doing this all and there's a delay. So I'm here I'm here on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And so what I can hear my delay going on. So I'm not sure how good this is. So I'm not sure how to stop it. This is a learning process, everyone. So, bear with me 'cause it so I can actually I'm going to stop the live and I'm going to do it differently on Instagram. I'm gonna come back on Instagram, so ending my live. Okay, now I'm back live on Instagram. We're having trouble streaming to Instagram. If ended it on, then this is expected. If not, yeah. So I'm back on Instagram. I'm back on everything else. There was a delay, and so I have to figure out. Um, I just have to figure out how to do this so I don't hear the delay because it says I can stream on um multi different platforms. But the way they have it set up where the other links just automatically happen, and this one is like I have to get the live key one and then put it onto Instagram and then stream just from Instagram. And so anyways, go back to my old-fashioned way. I thought I found an easier way. Whoa. So, let's get into some 411. Got a really busy day today. Again, I got if you are wanting readings, I'm booking readings into 2024 now. So if you are wanting to get a reading, my days are basically getting booked up not only with readings but with family stuff as well. So it's very difficult for me to book anybody in. Dana, I haven't been able to get a hold of you, like to send an email to your girlfriend. So tell her that hopefully I can get to her next week. So cross my fingers. Because it's just things are getting a little bit cray cray here. And that's just ramping up for Christmas. So, couple things that are going on the 23rd of December, I'm having a potluck supper here, which is my Yuletide supper. So, if you are wanting to come to my potluck supper, um, definitely let me know. I will be having ham. I don't know if we're going to have turkey or not, but we're going to have ham and mashed potatoes, or gratin. I think I'm going to have a gratin, and then we're going to have another veggie dish. And then if people want to bring salads and other goodies, that would be totally awesome. So who would ever like to come and share the Yuletide celebration with me on the 23rd? So it'll be after 6:30. So if you wish to come and join me, let me know. So that's on the 23rd. We have that coming up. When I started this Advent calendar, I started off with a bang and I started off with all these fabulous sales. And great learning lesson for me, on doing this is that do the big bang sales near the end of the Advent calendar and not at the beginning. So and ease into it. So that's the whole thing. It's such a learning curve for me. Just because I get so excited and I just want to give just do things. So I get very excited and over exuberant, but that's okay. So going into this weekend, we have I'm going to be doing readings this weekend. So if you are tonight, I'm going to have the happy hour $10 mini readings, which is going to begin around 6:30 this evening. So if you are wanting to join me this evening for a happy hour $10 readings, those should be fun. So we're doing that. And then we are going to be coming back live again on Saturday morning at 10. So, and that's going to be fun. I am going to a high tea on Saturday afternoon with a lovely, oh, I just love him, Andre, a lovely client of mine, and he comes from a lineage, you know, a lineage of royalty coming from, I think it's the Dane side. There's, an offshoot of his uh, great, I think great grandmother or something that was the queen of Denmark at the time. Anyways, it's so interesting, and his lineage is so interesting. So I love meeting up with him because um, being a medium, a lot of that energy and that comes through. And then just, he's had a lot of verifications of when I've done readings with him, and he's looked up the facts, and the facts have checked out with with what I said. So I was, quite impressed every time we get together. So it's so wonderful. I met him on a ghost walk, and when I did the ghost walk and stuff, it was so cool because his father came through, and his father, I mean, he has German ancestry, so there was a lot of information that came through from his dad and his grandfather, his dad's dad, of World War II. And that's sometimes when I love, especially when doing mediumship, because information comes through that I didn't even know about, or anything about history. That's the other reason why I love history so much, is that in doing mediumship, information comes through. And of course, the client may not even know anything about this, because it's just not a part, they just didn't know of their grandmother or grandfather. And that's why I love it when people say, well, I don't know the person. Doesn't matter. Like, and our spirit is infinite, right? So that's the other piece too that I love about spirit, because spirit is infinite, meaning that we're all so connected. Everything's so connected that it doesn't, when I do readings and I tap into people's ancestries and stuff, language is nothing. Like, your ancestor could have spoke German or spoke a high German, because it's a different type, when we go back, there's different dialects of German, right? There's a high dialect of German, and then there's the lower dialect of German, which, sometimes you hear the Hutterites speak it. It's this type of German. Anyways, when I speak to the ancestors, I understand totally what they are saying, and it's so, so cool, right? My dad had a cosmic top. He took those secrets to the grave. But yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. I know, because I can see I see. Anyways, that's the whole another thing about your dad. But information comes through, like information, like, um, with Andre in talking about the roundup and how Hitler got to power, and some of the things that were happening in the everyday lives, and people didn't some of the things that came through were just very very powerful, very beautiful, very understanding of why people are the way that they are, as through their life. um so those types of things as well. uh Listening to even monarchs and stuff that have come through in different formats is quite interesting as well, and how they see the world, or how they picture things, and uh how they see things forming. They don't interfere. It's just mainly, sometimes it's an observation. Anyways, it's hard to explain, but that's what I love when I'm doing a mediumship. I never know who's going to come through. So that's why I always ask people who they want to speak to, because sometimes I have no idea who's going to come through. Certain and I don't usually get names when I do readings. I get an image, I might get a color, I might get a smell, um, an energy feel. That's what I get, and um but I don't get names. Dates can be very like, trying to figure out the date and stuff like that. I often get people asking me to find things for them. I don't find things. That's not that's just an FYI. So if you lost your jewelry, you lost your passport, it that's not my thing to really go in and try and find things. I might get an idea of where it is, but that's about it. This is why I don't go in to go finding people. That is not my thing, is to find people. I stay clear of that stuff. One, because most of the time they're dead, in doing that. I shouldn't say I have never, but I have had people call me when people have gone missing. And uh, it's been it's interesting um with it. There's one that I knew, and although she was alive, and I kept getting that she was being held in a basement by three men, and she's being held in a basement, she's not being let out, and that she was in the Northeast. And the police knew that she was with somebody earlier that day. It was a a good friend of one of my nieces, or somebody whose um friend went missing. And so she called me, and I said, this is where it is. I know it's somewhere in the Northeast, and it was in Falconridge, actually. And so as soon as I said sort of the general idea of where it was, they knew, they had an idea of which house it was, and they found her. And it was three men that were holding her prison, or wanting her. I don't know if they're whatever they were going to do, but anyways, um, other ones that I have done or helped out, where I've gotten a call where a little girl and her mom went missing. They were abducted during the middle of the night. This is a couple years ago, and I described where they went, had an idea where they went and stuff like that. She kind of sort of let the police, because the police in Canada don't use psychics. Um, as much as people think they do, they don't. They take it sort of with a grain of salt, because it can't be admissible in court. FBI use some, but they usually use a group of psychics, and it's run on in a they don't use them directly. It's usually through private contractors, and they usually have a group of psychics that do it. It's not just one psychic. It's usually a group. Very odd that it's just one psychic, and they don't get paid. You don't get paid for that shit. Nor would you want to get money for it. But anyways, had an idea where the road were, and I knew there was a lake and where they were found. And it was some back lake, and it was just a Chestermere comes in, but I know it wasn't Chestermere, but it was around in the back there by some lake. That's where they found the bodies of them. So it's those types of things that I do. And I going back to the high tea, it's having those connections. Now I'm going to high tea at the dean's house, which is another interesting place to go have tea. The dean house has so much activity. There's been a hanging in the stairwell there. It used to be a prostitution house. The dad was upstairs with his children. Like there was several children with a family upstairs, and he rented rooms out. It's not far from the railway line. So that pathway that's there in Inglewood, that railway, that is the railway line. So the railway used to come right through there. And there's also an older church in the back, a community church that's in the back there. But right across the street from that church um, is a old boarding house. And that's where a lot of the men used to stay from the rails. They used to come in and they used to stay there, as they were, waiting for their next train and stuff like that. Also, in that area too, as you go into East Village was where a lot of the first settlers came in because it was right there by the river. Things came in by the river, and in building the railway, except and things along that line. And the railway, there wasn't a bridge either, so things had to get across the river from Bridgeland over to Inglewood, which was quite interesting as well. So the Dean House has a lot of different energies. I've picked up that, cooks have issues, maybe things go missing, hearing things, banging, locking up at night is always, I guess, a chore sometimes with people. So that's quite an interesting thing as well. Uh, Inglewood, Inglewood has a lot because it's part of the older Calgary. So just a lot of things, a lot of different um, I guess, apparitions and a lot of different activities that go on there throughout the whole area. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I don't usually do ghost tours through Inglewood anymore because of a certain person um, who targets me. If I do something like that, I get target. She likes to target me and tries to stop me from doing it. It's whatever. So I go elsewhere. Anyways, yeah, crazy, crazy. So let's get into some of the energies and stuff that's happening right now. We have a solar flare and it's called X something, and it's quite a big one, and it was shot off from the sun. Um, I think yesterday. Yeah, it was Thursday, so that was yesterday. I don't even know my days anymore because things are just all coming together. Like I have to actually look at the date to know what day it is. Like um that tells you that, time has no meaning anymore, right? So a solar flare X, and it's quite a strong one. So here are the things it's going to be hitting in the next couple days and over the weekend. And some of the things people are going to be feeling is nervous system. So things to do with your nervous system. It could affect your sleep. It could also affect your legs, and sort of if you have, shaky leg syndrome and things like that, it could be affecting that as well. Anything to do with your nervous system. So even feeling extra spidey, tingly senses and things like that, headaches, migraines, and that could be on the increase with people. Solar flares can cause heart palpitations, can cause nausea and stuff for some people. So there's a lot of, because this is like plasmic, I got plasmic energy coming through. So there's a lot of things that are going to be affected, hitting into the microwave frequencies, and all the way down. It could be even having cell phone disruptions. It doesn't help that Mercury's retrograde. And I know I've said Mercury, it's a good thing. This isn't a horribly bad one. Not like when Mercury goes in Scorpio and shit's going to hit the fan when it goes retrograde in Scorpio. Um, but this is where, things with computers, um, even interact. It could have things to do, anything that is electronic and stuff like that, electricity, could have some issues as there. So there's that's sort of going to be hitting us this weekend. We also have that Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, and it's no joke. It's going to be with us till 2026. And it's only going to get stronger. And what it is, it's really setting a course upon our spiritual journey. And this is where, along with wanting to have this expansion, it also has a lot to do with setbacks. So feeling like you're not moving ahead, feeling like you're not getting anywhere, feeling overwhelmed, anxious, So, and this also has to do with the concerns of the world. It is, this is a very intense planetary alignment that's coming forth. I mean, especially when you have like Neptune and Saturn, anytime they do get together, it does. I mean, Saturn just disrupts shit, along with they all disrupt shit. But when he's coming together with Neptune, Neptune is his eldest son, and Neptune is in its ruling sign. So it's like you have Chiron, which is Saturn wanting to come in to put in rules and regulations and bring in boundaries, and here we have an energy that has ether and boundlessness, and there's no boundaries and there's no grounding. And here is a planet, the second largest planet in our solar system, that wants to be grounded, wants to have that structure. I mean, it rules Capricorn, it rules Aquarius. Structure, want to have this scientific mind. What is the formula? What is the steps? Pisces can have no steps. Pisces can be all over the place. And it can be very frustrating for people who know Pisces. They usually need a list, they need to have a set schedule. If they don't have these things, their life can be just totally chaotic and crazy. Um, a lot of Pisceans in the last few years, especially since Neptune has gone in there, have had health issues. Um, it rules the 12th house, so it has a lot to do with karma, secrets. It rules the media. So, and it is the sign where the witch trials started when when Neptune was in Pisces. So there's, this underlying crazy secretive energy that's there. It's the depths of the ocean. So that is really building, and it has a square to the sun in Sagittarius. So there's that wanting, the sun squares, a sun square Neptune is, it can be a very difficult one, being because erratic changes can come into somebody's life. Emotional distraught can cause crazy psychological debilitating um energies within somebody. This is where you're running out of energy, running out of spiritual hope. So when you have a sun square Neptune, it is really a disciplinary energy, a really disciplinary of what it is that you need to do within your life and set that up. So this is where it's, this is about your brute, and wanting to have brute strength, because Mars is there as well. So trying to force things, trying to get things, forcefully going. Yet Neptune is like, you can try and force and punch a wave all you want, but nothing's gonna work, right? So it comes back down to really a lot of building the core things, building up what is the core of the building blocks in your life, and looking at what those building blocks are, and don't get tripped out. So, and what to change in the radical of approach, and being over analytical on things. I mean, if you're being over analytical and you're trying to like figure it all out, it's got to be this way, it could be very overwhelming. This is where it's like, okay, I got the basic building blocks, knowing everything's going to be supplied, trusting in that life force, but also enjoying all parts of it, not getting hung up on a lot of little tiny, well, this isn't working and we didn't get this and we didn't get that. So it's really looking at all the different parts of your life and really enjoying those different parts of your life, in amongst everything feeling very chaotic. It is it is frustrating. I mean, things get heightened during the weekend with these alignments and coming forth. So, and Saturn, the sun's coming close to the galactic point in Sagittarius, which is the Milky Way. It's that energy of the Milky Way coming forth in and around us. Mars is going to be hitting it as well. So this is a look at, where's my destination, where is it that I need to be, motivated, and not getting too much into your head and overthinking. If you're getting too heady about things, man, um that could be very frustrating for you because and especially with a lot of the crazy media stuff there, that movie that's going to be coming out next year is a frustrating one. That movie that there it's what is called the Civil War. There, I think Obama or somebody helped produce it, but I already know people who've watched it, and they say, for some, it's like, oh my God, this really set a tingle down their spine. I'm not interested in watching it. It's not my type of movie. There's another movie on Netflix with the chick from Pretty Woman, Julia Roberts. That's another movie. Those movies don't interest me because when I watch them, yeah, no. So, whoops, go back to my Instagram. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. So, anyways, this weekend, because I got to get going, because I got a reading. We have $10 readings tonight. We have $10 readings tomorrow morning. If you are wanting to come to the releasement, the emerge, I'm calling it the emerge of so that you can release 2023 and emerge into 2024. That is January 6th if you want to join me on that beautiful journey that we're going to have. Readings right now are $100. And yeah, so sending you guys out so much love. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you. Blessings, everybody. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.